doesn't have much to do with Ireland, but I just felt like talking about it. I seen it on Twitter and I seen it on the news. And I just felt like talking about it. Usually I don't talk about things that don't really, it's not really anything to do with Ireland, but it's the G7. So it's obviously in the United Kingdom, it's our neighbours that's having it this year, Boris Johnson and his wife. That are having the Joe Biden and Angela Merkel and the European Ursula von der Leyen and Emmanuel Macron and the rest of them. And obviously the Portsmouth having the big talk about this, that, and climate change, etc., the COVID vaccines and things like that. But here's the thing, here's the kicker. Did they isolate? And I have a question. Did they have to isolate? You know, the way when you arrive into a country, in the majority of countries, in the vast majority of countries, you have to isolate. You're forced to isolate for 14 days or a few days, and at least anyway, you have to get a PCR test. I wonder. Again, you have to wonder. You really have to wonder. But yeah, I'm sure you've seen the pictures of them just chatting, having their hands around each other, Joe Biden and President Macron, in fact. Again, it's a great country, it really is. And if that was you or me, we'd be in the back of a guard's car heading to the guards' barracks for breaking the COVID laws. If we were an older citizen, we'd probably be battered by guarded batons, probably baton charges down the street. But apparently the police are not home when that's happening in Portsmouth for some reason. Because it's obviously a breach of the public health guidelines, because no social distancing. Even though it's outside, whatever, but there's no social distancing. They're all standing on top of each other. And don't even start me with the press. The press are the biggest hypocrites going. It's OT can't really say anything anyway. But yeah, all of them standing around the press, and would you believe they're all like social distancing, this, that, and then they won't follow their own what they're preaching. But yeah, it's a really, really great country, and England's a great country too. But yeah, it's just a load of bollocks. At the end of the day, it's really a load of bollocks, because they could do it online. They didn't have to go for a big show and tell, and go to England or whatever. And obviously they didn't isolate or anything that. No such thing as masks or things like that. And they just basically just like, fuck yous all, we just doing our own thing. And that's just basically it, and that's just really it. But it's not really fair. Again, it's not fair on only people who want to travel. Like, take for example, there's people who are vaccinated and things that want to travel to Spain, to Portugal, maybe for a few days, few weeks holiday. As they rightly can, 100%, because they'll have the right to freedom of travel. Say that if they do, just wanted to go for a week or two, they'd be forced probably to isolate maybe in Spain. I don't know the laws in Spain, what isolation, or Portugal, but you'll probably be forced to isolate, or you won't be allowed unless you isolate. Even though you had a PCR test, but some countries do have that in place. I don't know about the UK. I don't really listen to what the media are talking about, this, that, because I'm just sick of them. I'm just sick of listening. Go on and on and on. But yeah, this is the thing. Again, if that was you or me, we'd be fucking forced to do it, and they're getting offered it again. It's one rule for you and one rule and another rule for the other. And it's just not fair, and that's just putting it straight. And anyway, it's kind of very weird. It's again, they're using the great words of the World Economic Forum, build back better, and they keep saying that, which is very frightening, to be honest with you, because they're just constantly going on about that, but you think they'd be worried about other things, but again, we have to build back better under whatever their plan is there. But should look at right, we know we can tell, but we can't say. I suppose that's what their opinion is not. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, it's just again, they could have done the line. They didn't have to go halfway around the country to make a statement. And a poor statement at most, because probably there in their own countries, there's probably less freedom and less less for only people, only taxpayers to do. Like, take for example, go to the bar or go to a restaurant or whatever. Like Ireland wasn't involved in the Taoiseach type, for then go, he'd be little pappy dog to be patting him on the back saying, well done, behold, doing the great work. We're robbing the country blind, Ursula von der Leyen said. We're robbing the Irish people blind, and it's the only country in the world that won't stand up to us. It's a great country.